I've got another Reiki story for you. This one, the last couple have been about humans. This one's about a kitty named Bundy. It's one of my favorite stories. Never met this kitty in person. The human I knew pretty well. I teach writing also. I say writing so you don't think I mean horseback riding. Writing, fiction writing. She was in my workshop for a couple of years. And she mentioned that her cat, her elder cat, Bundy, was really ill and might have to be put down. The vets couldn't. She had digestive issues, which turned out probably it was colitis. And when she would eat, she would scream in pain. And when she would try to poop, she would scream. And pain meds and she was skin and bones. And I was like, wow. I don't know what possessed me to say, let's try Reiki, but I did. and and I also don't remember, this is like 25 years ago. I also don't remember how often we were doing the sessions initially. I like to, when you have a chronic condition, which is what this was, I like to sometimes do 3 in a week, and then once a week, and then once every. So I don't remember how we started, but it was at least once a week for 3 weeks. And it may have been more than that initially. And she immediately was responding. She started eating. And so we went from this bunched up to once a week for a while, not a million years, maybe a couple months. And then every other week for a while. And then every 3 weeks. And then we went to once a month. So this whole thing, I don't know, it wasn't like a million years that it took to get it down to there. As she was responding, and it looked like she could go a little longer, we did. And for this kind of ongoing treatment, I have discounts for like packages. So it wasn't ridiculous, it wasn't crazy expensive at all. So, and we should have kept it at 3 weeks because she wanted to go to a month. But at 3 weeks, she said Bundy would start to cry a little bit and didn't want to really eat. I'm like, seems like that's when we should do it. But we kept it at a month. She was eating like a normal kitty. She was pooping like a normal kitty. There was no more crying. When it was time for her session, we make an appointment for a session. So she's not being fed or played with or whatever. And her woman said that when it was time for the session, Bundy would leave the room and go off in her own space. She had a place that she went, I don't remember, but she had a corner of the house or a bed or something, and she would go into her own space. And when the session was over, the woman knew the session was over because Bundy would come back in and talk about it. I love it. And I'm remembering that one day, the woman and her husband went out to dinner during the session time. We usually work during the day, but we're having a session in the evening, me and Bundy. And when the humans came back, she said Bundy was waiting at the door, which was unusual, which is why she mentioned it. The Bundy was waiting at the door after her session, was just like blah, 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 all happy. So that you could always see the shift in her energy after a Reiki session. Cats love Reiki. I can tell you so many stories about cats loving Reiki. They will try, if you're working with a human, the cats will come up and let me in on this. So anyway, that's the story. That's all. It's a short story, but it's about chronic conditions. So no, Reiki did not cure colitis, but it managed. She may have addressed her food choices too a little bit. I'm not exactly sure, but it addressed an ongoing chronic painful condition. And Bundy, again, she was eating, she gained weight. The vets are like, whoa, what are you doing? Oh, Reiki. Oh yeah, whatever. Okay. So okay. So how does it work? I don't know. We don't know how it works. I have no idea the mechanism behind it, but it clearly helped Bundy. So I'm just putting it out there because this works for humans too. Managing chronic conditions. Pain, it wasn't just the pain. Well, maybe it was just the pain. When she wasn't in any more pain, she could eat and she could poop and she gained weight and she was happy kitty. She was like 16, 18, I don't remember, but she was elder and she lived a happy life for several more years. And then I don't remember what happened. I think she died of something else. But she was happy up until, the last few years of her life where she something happened and then she passed. So that's it. Think about Reiki for chronic conditions, for your critters and for you. I'm Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Healing, Reiki, animal communication, neuromuscular retraining. Take care.